Hello, this is Pomona Remembers. This is Saturday Night's All Right for Talking, and here I am, coming to you at the very last second, because what am I going to talk about? Well, this might change pretty soon, because I talked to my friend today, whose mother, who has passed on, comes and speaks through me to her on a regular basis. And I says to my friend, hey, what do you think about coming over and talking to me on the podcast sometime? And let's talk about what's happened with us and your mom and your dead mom and my dead dad. And I know that sounds really, really dark, and I apologize to anyone if that sounds insensitive. I really, really do. And I have just always been able to see the other side. And the more I think about it, the more I honestly look at it, I honestly can say that that is true for me. That as a child, I was picking up on stuff from as far back as I can really honestly remember. And so I thought what I'd do for this Saturday Night's All Right for Talking is I'm going to channel Johnny Fever, I think, in WKRP in Cincinnati. If you know, you know, and if you don't, you're probably really young. So congratulations to you. And so I got my notes. I made some notes to help me stay on task a little bit here. I talked to the committee about sort of like what to talk about, and we're talking about this. And I was gonna go back and do a bunch of searching through old notes and everything to try to create something, but I think this is probably the faster way to do this. So this might be a short one, and I'm not even going to worry about it because it is up to Spirit to set things up. I am just here to be a translator and to talk to you about my experiences. This is for entertainment purposes only. If you find this entertaining, cool. I am available for doing readings. You can email me at pomona.remembers@gmail.com if you would like to. I have limited amounts. My team has given me only certain amounts of time slots because they're extremely protective of my energy. So that's why I'm also doing the YouTube and doing the Patreon and that sort of thing. So then hopefully I can help other people as well. I would really love to help as many people as possible. So that means like creating a really great playlist of things for people. So then, I'm not really specific about the Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. It could be any of those days. If it fits for you, it fits for you. I'm trusting Spirit to line everybody up who needs to find me because that's it. I'm calling out my Anam Kara and I'm asking you to come find me. So, when I was a little girl, I sensed ghosts a lot. I sensed other things. I just knew things. I didn't know how I knew those things, but it was just a thing that always was, as far back as I can remember. So one of the places that I really vividly remember was one of the houses when I was about, I'd say in grade 1, that I lived in. We moved, just for reference, okay? I moved 9 times in the first 10 years of my life. I lived in 2 different countries and 3 different provinces, just for reference, okay? Um, so one of the places, one of the countries that we lived in for 3 years, okay? So just for reference to how much moving that all is, just figure out all the scenarios that could have looked like. So I really, really didn't have a lot of people friends because we kept moving. So I just never really lost my connection to the other side because I was alone a lot. I was alone a lot. I had my parents. They interacted with me a lot. They were, they did their best to, have me out at the libraries with children and in school and having play dates and going and playing with friends in the neighborhood and all those sort of things. But as far as like a lifelong, like buddy chum forever sort of thing, that was a really hard thing to create in my world. So I really, really relied on what turns out to be my like angels and guides, and like I affectionately refer to them as the committee now. And I get a lot of like souls who have crossed over that come and say hello. And that is something that has always been there. So I sensed ghosts, I sensed energies, I sensed the departed a lot as a child. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't have any kind of education or understanding as to even what was going on with me in my head, in my body, in my anything. It was a bit of a free for all. Sometimes I really, really feel for my angels. I mean, goodness gracious. I've had a lot of near death experiences, I'm sure, and needed a lot of divine intervention for a lot of different things that have happened through my life. And I still do. It still happens, but I am a lot more mindful and a lot more careful with myself, uh, so as not to hopefully stress out my team, and we can focus on helping other people in the meantime. So, so when I was a kid, I just sort of I remember feeling scared of the ghosts, but not scared of like my angels and stuff. It's just because I didn't know what to make of them. And over the years, through just life and experience, I'm just like, I know my power. I know that I can help them cross over. I know that they can see me. They know that I can sense them, and they come. And then they set up like meetings and stuff. And my husband doesn't even get surprised anymore when we go out into public and someone just a stranger comes up from a different world, a different land, and all of a sudden it's like angels have come together and I get to minister to these strangers in the middle of Home Depot. Like stuff like this happens to me a lot. And so sometimes I find it overwhelming. And so I spend a lot of time protecting my energy and in my space. And so I'm they're showing me like a canary in a coal mine. Like I'm very sensitive to stuff coming. And I'm also very particular and precise. And they say that's another reason why they choose me, is because I check my work and I recheck and I check again. And because I'm always like shaking my head and rubbing my eyes like, is this real? Are you kidding me? I'm very, very like, hey, prove it. Prove it, please, because I'm not just going to go and do this for some silly goose out there. I need proof, please. So my friend's mama has given proof over the last years. It's been an amazing working and, well, not working, just like it's helped further my work. It's been a teaching time with my friend, and she's been an amazing resource to help me develop my psychic and mediumship skills. And I've also been able to help her clarify and get through a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time, as she's been going through some stuff. So it's been a really beautiful exchange of energies. And I really look forward to you being able to meet her. I also have some other friends who I've had some great interactions and times with, and I'd love to feature them as well. Beautiful souls. My Anam Cara that I get to interact with. I am so thankful I get to interact with them on a daily basis if I want to, because they're just so close to me in my neighborhood and in my city. So I have other people that I love that are not in my city, don't get me wrong, and that I really would love to collaborate with as well. And I'm going to be creating, more opportunities like that. I'm going to be putting myself out there as far as that. So I want to talk about when I became a woman. Have all the uncomfortable men left? I'll just give you a second. Okay. Are we clear? We're good? Everybody is safe? Okay. When I became a woman, puberty, when I went to the mall, I have to tell you what it was like. It was like when you're trying to find a station on an old radio, that noise, that white like what? Like that poltergeist, like like, but I could feel all the, so what I can explain it to you. So what happened was, it was Christmas time, and I love Christmas time. I love the sights and the sounds and the smells and the children and the moms and the dads and all of those things. It was like the most wonderful time of the year for me until puberty hit. And then all of a sudden it was like I could hear all of the hustle and bustle of the mall, all the boots clicking on the tiles, all the puddles and the rocks that were made their way into the mall, the broom sweeping up those puddles and mopping up, no, the broom sweeping up the rocks and mopping up the puddles, and all the sounds of the bells and the lights twinkling and the children squealing with glee or crying in frustration and sneezing and coughing, and all of the noises, all the cacophony of the season, the sounds of the season that everybody hears and can take in. And it's okay. I used to be able to do that. And then all of a sudden, the whole other channel came open, and I could not only hear the cacophony of the season, but also on top of that, it was like all of their ancestors, all of their, all the people, all of a sudden I could sense and hear all of the spiritual realm on top of that. Everything. I almost wanted, like, it was so much that I almost needed to run out of the mall. And so I really, really like farmers markets and more local, sort of like less busy, more where there's more room, where there's air, where I can have space. So yeah, that happened when I was a teenager. And also when I was a teenager, all these weird random things would happen when I'd be hanging out with my friends, where the committee would have to intervene for my safety because we were stupid teenagers in the 90s and we were about to drive off the cliff and stuff. And I was like, stop the car. And they're like, why? And I'm like, stop the car. And they slam on the brake as the trunk is hanging off the side of their driveway because they weren't turning hard enough because they're teenagers who are dumb. Anyway, so just stuff like that. Just stuff like that pretty regularly. Always, like every day, me and my friend June would show up in the same outfit. It got so ridiculous that I would think about an outfit and then I'd immediately think of a plan B, and sure as shooting, 9 times out of 10, she was wearing my first choice for the day. And I was like, what is actually happening to me right now? Like, why does this keep happening to me? Why does this keep happening to me? I had nobody to tell me about what was going on. I was in church at this time. So, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. So that was, a whole lot of trauma also that I'm dealing with, the whole church thing and being able to sense and hear and see dead folk, people who've crossed. Yeah, they don't like that in the church. Anyway, so got kind of thrown into a closet of like, nope, just hide all of that stuff. There's people who do not want to hear any of those things, and they don't appreciate that you know stuff that you really shouldn't know. They're like, it freaks people out. But see, I didn't realize that my brain was doing this. I thought everybody could do this. That's a whole long story in itself too, but the truth of the matter is I've been able to see and sense the other side since as far back as I can remember, and I thought everybody could. And I'm finding out that not everybody can. And so I feel kind of like maybe it's important to share my story so that somebody who's like me, who doesn't have people, maybe you find this story and you resonate with it, and then you don't feel alone in the world and you don't feel scared. And maybe it doesn't take you quite so long to come into your power and into yourself. Okay. And I also don't see any of this as a mistake either. I think that everything can get used. Every life experience that you go down, even whether it was meant for you or not for you, you can still have a lesson from it if you would only dig in and learn and take those things. Make your lemonade. Make your lemonade out your lemons, please. That's something that Spirit is always saying to me. When something poopy happens, they're like, okay, so how are you going to change this? How are you going to change this? Like, I'm not allowed to sit in like sad feelings for too long. Lately, they're like, okay, how are we moving on? We can't sit in this stagnant sadness or whatever for so long. We got to like deal with it and get going. As my mama used to say, poop or get off the pot. Like, what are we doing? Let's get the stuff out and move on. Okay? my mom has a lot of like kind of folksy things you're gonna hear. If that makes you laugh, I'm thankful. If it offends you, awesome. You can figure that out for yourself. And because this being offended over words that are like really not like offensive, like poop's not offensive. It's like a normal part of our lives, guys. But anyway, I just have a mother-in-law who gets like so uppity about shit that it just it rubs me the wrong way, because it's like it feels exclusionary to me to be like, you know what I mean? We don't need to be policing everybody so much, okay? Be kind to others so others can be kind to you. Just ask Dr. Whimsy. She knows what's up. Okay. If you ever want to learn how to do some great remote viewing, get control over your gifts, please do go check out Dr. Whimsy Anderson, the Oracle of Whimsy. She is, oh my gosh, you guys. Let me just say the bee's knees for now, okay? Because I don't want to get all mushy and sentimental and weepy on this podcast. I'd rather just be professional, okay? But she holds a very, very special place in my heart. And I'm very thankful that I found her in my life, because she's helped me to get control of my stuff. And she's helped me to normalize the gifts that I have and helped me to work through a lot of stuff. So I highly recommend Dr. Whimsy Anderson, the Oracle of Whimsy. There's a lot of others that I recommend as well. And hopefully one day they get to be on this podcast with me. And we can talk about stuff and people can learn through our talking. That is huge. Okay, we're talking about, ghosts. Okay, ghosts. Okay, ghosts. Let me just see how much time we got here. Oh, this could be a nice short one. I'm going to leave with Roger. Roger. He is the gentleman who lived in my house that I happened to be living in at this time. My beautiful willow, which I'm going to be redoing and making into like a beautiful cottage with garden. So then one day it might be a beautiful Airbnb. Who knows? Because I do want to travel one day, but I also love this house. We'll see what happens. I've got dreams for this beautiful house, but I don't know how it's going to work out. I got to listen to my spirit team. I got to do it in order. We all got to do it in order. So then this fire ready aim stuff is not very pleasing on the other side. They don't like that. They like preparation and divine timing and allowing and, just, yeah. So Roger, he is the gentleman who built this house. He built this house for his wife. And he ended up losing his wife, and he was a widower living in this house by himself for years. It gives me the, that Disney movie Up with the old gentleman in the house. And anyway, Roger used to be the neighborhood watch guy in the neighborhood, and he would sit out in the front door in his chair eating a banana and drinking a glass of wine, and he used to take notes on the comings and goings of the neighborhood. He would watch for cars that didn't belong. He would take down license plate numbers. He would go and report to neighbors that, hey, when you were at work today, this car came and pulled into your driveway. This is the make, model, and license plate. Just so you know. This was the kind of guy that Roger was. He was kind of a neighborhood dad, and he looked out for everybody. And when we were looking for a new house, this one was on the market, and a friend of mine and her husband was looking at this house at the same time. And I was like, oh, she's got a brand new family coming and all this sort of stuff. I knew that it was close to her mom and dad, and I could see how it would be a really, really wonderful place for her to live because it's close to her family. And it would also be a very, very great place for me to live because it's close to my family and close for my children who I already had to their high school within walking distance and on a bus route. And there was lots of other beautiful things that really, really fit for me. And I just threw it up to the universe. And it was interesting because when I walked into the house, I got a chill through my body. The hair on the back of my neck stood up and I felt joy. My hair stood up on end a little bit. And I just felt joy. I felt joy. The house was, just sort of not like it was taken from the 80s to like contractors doing stuff to update, and it was just beige. It was a lot of beige, guys. And I sensed that this was our house, and I just took the steps to move forward, and then I prayed for the highest and greatest good for all. So if it was meant for us, it was meant for us, and if it wasn't, it wasn't. And I let it go. And we ended up getting the house. And we moved in on 12/13/14. And it just seemed so lovely to have this house. And it was, and it is. And I feel so extremely excited to be able to finally settle into a house and create a beautiful, beautiful home. And one day it will go to our children. But also I want to create a beautiful space and a healing space for all of my friends and family and people who cross the threshold, that they would find healing and rest. And that was really my intention with this house from day one. So when we first moved in, the doors were different and weird for me. And my husband, he would work, oh, wait. Let me back up. Sorry. Spirit told me I made a mistake. So when we first moved in that day is when I sensed Roger was in the house. I came in all by myself and I brought a load of things, and my children were at school, my husband was at work, and I was by myself in our brand new house. And I was emptying some boxes and looking at a few things. And standing at the top of the stairs was a man in spirit. A man in spirit. And I knew who it was. I knew it was Roger. And I pointed at him, directly at him, because I was busy looking in a box, and I must have scared the bejeepers out of him, because I was looking down and I pointed directly at him, up at the stairway looking down at me. And I said, listen, I don't know who you are yet, but I know that you belong to this house. And you are invited to stay here for as long as you need to feel safe, to go to the light. But if you mess with my family in any way, shape, or form, if there is anything other than kindness and protection extended to us, you will be banished and gone. I will send you on your way. So it was sort of like, we're going to do this the nice way and the easy way, or are we going to do this the hard way? I put up the boundary straight away, and he just was like, I'm going to be nice. So he was allowed to hang out and watch what happened to his house. And he did. He did. I felt him a lot in the early years when he was here. And he would, sometimes when my husband would go to work for the night shift and I was responsible for me and the children in the middle of the night, there were nights when my husband would come home in the morning and he would say, honey, you forgot to lock the front door. And I would say, oh, whoops. Obviously, I was so tired and I didn't check. And because the way that our old house was, I was able to stand in one spot in the house and see that both doors were locked at the same time. It was just a totally different house. And this house has floors. So anyway, so I was like, whoopsie daisies, I need to really, really make sure I check and create a routine around checking all the doors and windows every night. Just a last check before you go to sleep. Check the house. My dad always used to do it. My husband does it. We just do that. And there were a few nights when my friendly ghost, Roger, woke me up as I was just about to fall asleep. And he would say, go check the door. You didn't lock the door. And I was like angry because I was exhausted. I was a working mom, exhausted, working mother, doing my level best to take care of everybody. Take care of everybody. So I would get upset and I would be like, just leave me. I'm sleeping. And he would say, please get up and check the door. Get up and check the door. And then he wouldn't leave me. Would not leave me. And so I would get up, and sure as shooting, every single time the door was unlocked. So I learned to listen to my friendly ghost Roger for, protection, because that's what he did. He would protect his home. He would protect the neighborhood. And he was just continuing on. And I said, you don't have to stay and do this. You can go. You can go be with your wife. You can go be with whoever you need to be with your mother. You don't need to stay here anymore. I have lots of guardian angels, and I'm more used to the house. And you know what he was worried about? The day that he told me he was leaving was when he saw what I was doing to his house and the ideas and the plans that I had for his house. He was able, and he saw that like we were good stewards of his house, we weren't going to wreck his stuff, that we actually really loved and cared for the space and we were good stewards, that was when he decided to go, was when he knew that we were good and that his house was good, that he had built for his beautiful wife. So I still think about him. He still comes by and lets me know that he's still got an eye on the house, and but he's on the other side. He's doing other things. But he's definitely a guardian angel of this space. And now he's not a ghost. He's crossed over and he's moved on. And I feel that he just honestly just pops in now and again to just say hi and see what's new. How are the gardens growing? Oh, you painted that wall a beautiful color. I love the way that turned out. Sort of idea. Like he just inspects the house. Like he's a house inspector. And it's funny because his signature is actually still on the house as far as taking possession of it and the year, and so his signature is still in this house, and it's okay because he takes care of us. And honestly, I just it's weird that I'm realizing that not everybody does this. It's comically absurd to me that not everybody can do this, but it's okay. It's okay. That's my fault for being naive and silly and just wrapped up in my world, and I'm excited to know though that I get to meet people and help them to be in contact with their loved ones and get any messages or anything. That's really cool. I've had many people in popular culture come to me from beyond to talk to me, to sing with me, to dance with me as I listen to their music. They just kind of come and chill with me. They thank me for remembering them through their music, through their art. They give me little messages like, I don't know if I don't think I did my Amy Winehouse thing yet. I need to be better at writing down what I've done and not done. I'm working on this, guys, okay? I'm working out my bugs, and I'm working out all these things. I've never done a podcast before, and it shows. So, your patience is appreciated. All right. So I think I'm going to leave it here. I would love if you have any questions. If you have any questions, or you have any stories, or you have any things that you would like me to talk about, please ask me questions in the comments, as well as I will put up community posts that you can also put your questions. And maybe that'll help me with my Saturday nights all right for talking little thing. I was on last night. Oh my gosh, I need to tell you something. Right now. Gregory. Oh wait, I don't want to. Okay, wait. I don't want to make a mistake here. I'm sorry. Please be patient with me. I'm looking up so last night I caught a live with Kim at Intuitive You, and oh, where are you? Where are you? Oh, here you are. Jeffrey Peck on Something Super Spiritual. Please go and check out Jeffrey. Okay, so that whole video, I'm going to actually listen to it again because it was so, like, dear you. So awesome. So I want to send a shout out to Jeffrey, Peck, and Kim. And thank you so much for being such amazing teachers. So, if you don't know who they are, please, they don't sponsor anything. These are just people that are just absolutely delightful. And I recommend. And if you are, especially if you are a spiritual person, if you're having a spiritual awakening, if you are trying to figure your stuff out, there are some beautiful, beautiful light workers out there that would, that's what we want to do. It's in our DNA, guys. We just want to help people get better. It's in our DNA. We want to help you. So, if you are interested in a reading, please email me, pomona.remembers@gmail.com. Also, you can go on to and show support through Patreon. I'm just starting that. It's a little bit sparse, but I'm working on it. Please have patience. I want to be able to do live readings for people there. I am just starting out. I have not been working since 2017. I've gone through some really, really big changes and learning with my spirit team over the last years. And they're telling me now it's time to put myself out there. So if I sound like someone who might be interesting to talk to for you, that might, I guess, resonate with you, that it feels good, please contact me. I would love to see what we can see for you. Of course, we have to always have the disclaimer for entertainment purposes only, but you know, we know what's up, guys. All right, I want to send you deep love and gratitude for if you made it all this way. So much love for you. Please do all the things. I don't like asking to do anything, but I'm going to do it because that's what they say to do. But anyway, please do the likes and the shares and the subscribes. I could really use the support. And it's not easy for me to ask for help. I'm like Rosa on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Okay. Complicated. But I do want to get out there and I do want to be able to help people. So please help me get my name out there so I can help as many people as possible. And I appreciate you. And I'm sending you love for your day. Ta-ra.